Hi and welcome to this Blueberry Markets video update with me, John Kibler, head currency analyst. In this video we're going to go through the week ahead analysis. We're going to go through some news for the week as well as some charts of interest. So kicking it off with the news, I think all investors are going to be looking at Tuesday, especially the data coming out of the US this week. We've heard from Federal Reserve Chairman Powell recently talking about the US being in a deflationary environment. And then this type of data could really put a spanner in the works for the Federal Reserve, who are looking to hike rates by a lower rate. So looking at the CPI forecasts, it's looking at we're going to see some increases here. Now, the consumer price index directly affects inflation, and we can see here that CPI month on month is actually expected to grow from minus 0.1% to 0.5%. CPI year on year is expected to fall, however, from 6.5% to 6.2%. So that maybe is encouraging. However, core CPI month on month is also expected to grow from 0.3% to 0.4%. And this is what investors are really looking for now. Are we going to start seeing the inflation pressure come back in the US after we've seen this slight decline recently? Now, labour market in the US is fairly strong. We saw a high jobs number coming in on the NFP, which again is going to add inflationary pressures in the market. So I don't think the Fed talking about deflationary environment was the smartest move. I think they should have said that, it's still too early to tell. However, they pulled the trigger on that one, and I'm actually seeing the forecast here looking a little bit stronger for the dollar. You can see core retail sales as well, month on month, expected to grow from minus 1.1% to 0.9%. Retail sales month on month expected to grow from minus 1.1% to 1.7%. Core PPI is also meant to grow from 0.1%. So you can see a lot of data from the US expected to grow, and I think if it does grow and show a stronger economic condition, then we're probably going to see the dollar continue to strengthen, because the Federal Reserve will have to hike rates potentially for longer. So that's going to be really, really interesting to see this week. We do have the RBA governor speaking. That's why I got my words confused there, because I just saw RBA. RBA Governor Lowe speaking twice this week, and we do have some Oz employment change within that period. Now, the RBA are looking to hike rates further. They've been fairly open about that, so expecting the RBA governor to talk about that. After the employment rate change, you can see is expected to see jobs numbers grow. Maybe the RBA will talk about further hikes again as well. So definitely a big news week with regards to inflation. So the one to watch there is really that dollar inflationary data. Going into the strength meter this week, it tells us that the euro was the worst performing currency of last week. Aussie came in at +5 and is now down to 4. So is that telling us that the Australian dollar is starting to reverse that recent strength potentially? But those are the two things to note from the strength meter. Going into euro US dollar then, I think if the dollar does continue to strengthen, you can see on this daily time frame we're trading below the 1.0775 handle. We rejected it on the other side, and we've closed now below this also trend line support. So to me, I feel like we could probably trade down towards the next area of resistance or support, which is around about the 1.0500 level. That area there could be targets for sellers looking to drive price to the downside. If we get a little bit of a pullback this week, maybe back into the 1.0715, we could look for further downside on a lower time frame from there. Going on to pound US dollar then, so this is the 4-hour time frame. We can see that we were looking for shorts around the 1.22 handle. We didn't get the second retest, which was what we were looking for. However, price has broken through this minor bearish channel. We're now trading below the 1.2125 handle in here, and then price looks fairly good to see a move down to 1.2 this week. I think if we come and fill this little area of imbalance, then price could maybe trade to the downside here. Dollar yen is still remaining above the 131 handle despite price dropping through and sinking through on Friday. Price has closed above the 131. on a lower time frame, price is actually trading in a little bit of a range here, so I'll be looking for price to break to the upside because I'm favoring that dollar strength this week. And if it does break to the upside, we've got 134.50. If it doesn't and I'm wrong, you know, price could then trade down to the 126.50 handle, but looking at the potential for dollar yen to start rising again at the moment. Finally then, gold. So gold had a pretty tame week last week. Kind of traded in a very tight trading range. I think if we trade through this week's low, it could offer opportunities down towards the $1,800 level, maybe a conservative target around about the 1830 area, where it would be this kind of zone in here would be conservative targets. But if that dollar does strengthen this week, I would expect gold prices to continue to fall, especially as we're trading below the 1875 handle at the moment. So those are the charts to watch this week. I hope you have a successful trading week. If you did like this video, please leave it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not subscribed already, and I will speak to you in the next video. Cheers.